Alright, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat mga kababayan, Batang Maynila TOH. Pag-usapan natin etong nangyaring sagutan between Representative Migs Nograles. Tapakita ko sa inyo guys. Representative Migs Nograles, isa pong babaeng mambabatas, at etong Senator Robin Padilla. So, isang mambabatas na babae versus sa isang senator na lalaki. At matindi pa nito, number 1 senator pa mga kababayan, ang tila ba sinopla ni Representative Migs Nograles mga kababayan. Pero bago yan, syempre puntahan muna natin kung ano yung dahilan. Ano ba yung dahilan? Ano ba yung pinagmula ng nangyaring para sa tingin ko dito kasi pagpapahiya Talagang pinahiya itong si Robin Padilla. Biruin mo, pagsabihan ka ng isang babaeng mambabatas, isang congresswoman, pagsabihan mo itong number 1 senator na ang pakilala sa sarili ay isang masyadong nationalistic, patriotic, at talaga namang sinasabi niya na siya ay isang makabayang Pilipino. Pero ang nangyari mga kababayan, dito sa kanilang palitan ng statements, regarding dito sa foreign policy ni Presidente Marcos, lumalabas, supalpal, etong number 1 senator na si Robin Hood Padilla. Pero, bago yan, tingnan muna natin, etong pinagmulan ng statement ni Robin Padilla. Kasi mga kababayan, ayon kay Robin Padilla, sabi niya ito, pakita ko na nga sa inyo sa screen. Sabi ni Robin Padilla, ayan mga kababayan, sabi niya, ako sa akin masyado akong natatapangan sa presidente natin sa mga desisyon niya. Pero syempre, desisyon niya yan Kaya kung sa tingin niya yun na maganda para sa bansa, bakit ko naman siya kukontrahin? O ito yung kanyang assessment sa foreign policy ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Ano ba kasi nangyari dyan? Kasi kung matatandaan ninyo, binuli po tayo, yung ating mga barko ay binuli po ng China. Marami na pong pagkakataon na magdadala lang po tayo ng supply, mga resupply mission, ating mga barko dyan po sa West Philippines. Ang ginagawa po nitong China ay binubuli sa pamamagitan ng water cannon. At actually kung mapapansin niyo mga kababayan, sobrang hirap ng mga dinadanas ng ating mga Filipino yung mga nandyan sa resupply mission, kasi grabe yung ginagawa ng China. Binabangga yung barko natin. At hindi lang pa sa binabangga, talagang wino-water cannon. So malakas po yung pressure noon at may mga pagkakataon na nabasag na yung salamin ng ating barko. Kaya naman, para medyo maibsa ng konti, itong ating dinadana sa pambubuli sa China, naglabas po si Presidente Marcos ng Executive Order number 57. At ayon kay Robin Padilla, itong Executive Order number 57, doon daw siya natatapangan. Medyo matapang daw ang dating ni Presidente Marcos dahil po dito siya inilabas Executive Order number 57. Ano ba yung Executive Order number 57? Ito guys, pakinggan natin yung paliwanag ng mga eksperto. Kasi baka hindi naintindihan ni Robin Padilla kaya siya natapangan doon sa Executive Order number 57. Kasi pagkakaalam ko, ito ay ginawa ni Presidente Marcos para protektahan lamang ang ating sovereignty at syempre palakasin yung ating depensa. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na gagarahin natin ng China, gagawa tayo ng opensiba laban sa China. Hindi po. Wala pong ganun na binabanggit niya sa Executive Order number 57. Kaya ito, pakinggan natin itong report ng One News mga kababayan para maintindihan natin, para din maintindihan ni Robin Padilla kung ano yung sinasabi niya. Okay, so ito, pakinggan natin itong Executive number 57. Ano po ba ito?
Order number 57, which aims to bolster the country's maritime security in the face of, quote-unquote, open, unabating, illegal, and coercive attacks by China. This EO released on Sunday seeks to strengthen the Philippines' maritime security and maritime domain awareness. It covers the country's oceans, seas, and other bodies of water, as well as all maritime-related activities, infrastructure, people, cargo, and vessels. It also aims to protect and conserve the Philippines' maritime assets, maritime practices, territorial activities, and coastal peace and order.
To achieve that, EO number 57 renamed and reorganized the National Coast Watch Council, or NCWC, into what will now be called the National Maritime Council, or NMC. This will be chaired by the Executive Secretary, a post currently held by Lucas Bersamin. Other members include the heads of agencies like the Defense, Environment, and Foreign Affairs departments. The Council is in charge of formulating strategies to ensure an effective governance framework for the country's maritime security and domain awareness. The National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea will be an attached agency of the NMC, and the task force will receive policy guidance from the President through the Council.
Pinalakas din yung kanyang powers and functions, no? Ibig sabihin, yung kabuuan ng buong Pilipinas na po ngayon, ang covered niya. I think the President's statements was very clear, no? We will not be deterred, no? Tayo ay handa na gawin ang lahat para ipaglaban yung atin din naman, no? Yung ating mga maritime rights and entitlements in the West Philippine Sea and in other parts of the archipelago. That is why the President has strengthened yung maritime domain awareness and maritime security across the entire Philippines. Hindi na lang nakatutok sa West Philippine Sea.
Great. Okay, let's try to get more insights on this new executive order. First guest with us tonight is security analyst Chester Cabalza. Chester, good evening. How are you?
Hi, good evening, Orkina and Gretchen and Sean. Thanks for having me again in your program.
I'm gathering you didn't have a very peaceful and relaxed week break. Huh? Busy ka, I'm sure. So let's.
Yes.
Yeah.
This morning, I had a lot of interviews from the media about this EO 57.
I can imagine. So let's get into it. What did you think?
Well, of course, this what differs to the Coast Watch Council to the Maritime Security Council here. I think what is more important here in the EO 57 is the proclamation where our president is claiming for the fundamental rights to live in peace and freedom, and of course he wanted Philippines to be free from fear and violence and threat. I think that's the core of the EO 57 because of the series of tirades and of course water cannon coming from China. And if you try to look at it, it's just an expansion of the previous executive order that was signed by then President Benigno Aquino in 2011 when he established the National Coast Watch Council. And then after that, we saw the 2012 Scarborough Shoal standoff, and now we are here in another series of standoff in Ayungin Shoal. So I think this is it proves also the side of the Philippines where we look at the legalist approach of the Philippines, because this is the strength of the Philippines, of our country. 2016 we have the arbitration award, which even up to now China disregards it, but the international community praises the Philippines for its maritime rules-based norms. This time around we are trying to fix our own domestic laws in order for us to safeguard our own maritime domains. So the executive order number 57 will help us to, in a way, look at the different parameters on consultation, research, administration, technical services of these new councils.
Right. Chester, just to get your thoughts on this, you're saying basically that EO 57 is something that we do need in the face of what we're experiencing in the South China Sea / West Philippine Sea. My question is, do you think that this has been a long time coming, or was this in reaction to the recent spate of increased harassment, etc., in the disputed waters?
Possibly, this is a clear reaction to the series of violence that China Coast Guard has done to our Philippine Coast Guard. But in my understanding, perhaps this is the remedy of our government, because even up to now, we still do not have the Maritime Zones Act and the archipelagic sea lanes. The only domestic law that would help us safeguard our maritime domains would be the baseline laws that we have. So remember, in our past conversations before, three important laws should prevail in our strategic culture. Namely, you should have the baseline laws, and then of course the Maritime Zones Act and the archipelagic sea lanes. The two other laws are still proposed by the Congress, and we're still waiting for that, so that in a way this could help our country to secure its sovereignty and protect the people based freely.
Chester, prior to the National Maritime Council, EO, there was also the National Coast Watch Council, and before that, the Commission on Maritime and Ocean Affairs. But I don't think we hear a lot of those two councils in the past. What do you think would make this one effective?
I think this one is bigger in scope because it tries to harmonize all the other laws that we have. Remember, our problem in the Philippines is that we always tend to crafty laws. That has been the solution to many of our complex problems. But we didn't realize that implementation, enforcement has always been our problem also in our country. This is the reason why the enactment of this new executive order is to harmonize all these executive orders that have been established and crafted in the past. But if you try to look at the EO 57 now, it tries to merge all of these maritime laws related to coastal defense and to maritime security. So in a way, it tries, because of course we have to remember that when we talk about maritime security, it keeps on changing also. It just so happened that in the Coastal Watch and SHADC statutes that we have, we were just focused on one area, which was the West Philippine Sea. But this time around, in the EO 57, it entails all the internal waters and the maritime domain around the archipelago of the Philippines.
Chester, one thing that was that popped out to me in EO 57 no, is itong mga allowing the new council to accept donations, blah blah, etc.
Donations, grants, bequests, or gifts from both domestic and foreign sources.
There you go. Senator Amy Marcos has already voiced her concern about this. She called it a Trojan horse. What do you think?
Well, for me, this is in preparation for the upcoming trilateral summit in Washington. Remember that Japan has proposed for the overseas security aid. This is the first of its kind, where it just focuses on the security and national security infrastructures. Remember, Japan has been offering us the ODA, or the Official Development Aid, which focus on the infrastructure and other socio-economic developmental projects. But this time around, it's just focused on the security. And we know for a fact that Japan has been aggressive in helping our Coast Guard. But if we try to look at it, the U.S. also has this Indo-Pacific Economic Framework where we try to help us in terms of our security needs. So I don't think that this negates the newly enacted and signed executive order, because ultimately it helps us to widen the network of the Philippines. Because if you try to look at it, the pendulum of economics is also shifting. If you try to look at it, we are now in the stage where PPP, or the public-private partnership, is in the offing right now, and Philippine Coast Guard is a civilian organization. It's not part of the military. It's under the Department of Transportation. So basically, we need all the help and aid for aiding our resources right now, because for me, I think we are lacking on those kinds of infrastructures. There's no problem as long as it is written, it is transparent, and the public knows about it. And remember that part of the modernization program of the Philippines is with the help of the private sector, and of course with our allies and partners. So there's no problem about this. I think this is not a Trojan horse or a Pandora's box that we are seeing right now. I think this is just an expansion of what we are expecting from our friends and allies, as long as there is it is clear to the public that this is for national security.
Right. But just to laymanize it for us, that means we can now accept any amount of money in the name of bolstering maritime security. Is that what it means?
Not really money, but aid
Kind
in the form of vessels or military material. Money should be it should not be equated to money. It can be loans and
Equipment, stuff like
investment
that?
packages.
I do have to note, though, that I took a look at EO 57, the past one, and there was this same provision. So it's not new.
So
it's the same.
So you can take grants, but not. I don't know. It's grants to me or like
Yeah, grants,
in the
which
form
I
of
think
cash.
the Philippine Coast Guard has benefited a lot, particularly with the help of Japan. If you notice in the Coast Guard modernization, it was Japan that truly helped the Philippines in terms of acquiring Coast Guard vessels. And up to now, there is, in my research, because I told you last time I'm writing a book, in my research last time, JICA and definitely the Japanese government has been offering the Philippines. This is not only for acquiring vessels, no? It can also be packaged for training and other, of course, equipment.
Alright, so yan mga kababayan Kung pakinggan nyo maigi yung Executive Order 57, yan po ay pinapalakas lang po natin ang ating depensa dito po sa ating sabi nga nila maritime security at dito sa ating maritime domain awareness. At ito mga kababayan, hindi po ito isang opensiba. Kasi akala nila, yung laging sinasabi, lalong-lalo na ng mga DDS, ng mga supporters ni Duterte, na ito raw ay paghahamon at ang ginagawa daw natin ay pinoprovoke daw natin ng China na napakalayo naman kung babasahin mo at iintindihin mo yung executive number 57. So ito yung dumating ngayon kay Robin Padilla. Sabi ni Robin Padilla, teka, parang masyado atang matapang na itong presidente natin at yung executive order number 57, pati na yung iba niyang mga foreign policy, parang feeling nila naghahamon na ng gera. Kagaya ni Harry Roque, ganun din sinasabi, pare-pareha sila Kaya naman nagsalita na, mga kababayan, itong si Representative Migs Nograles. At dito sa statement ni Representative Migs Nograles, talaga namang sa tingin ko supalpal. Etong si Senator Robin Hood Padilla. Kasi sabi ni tingnan nyo, sabi ni Representative Migs Nograles, dito sa foreign policy ni Presidente Marcos, at syempre kasama na Executive Order number 57, sabi ni mambabatas, babaeng mambabatas, mga kababayan, Representative Migs Nograles, ito mga kababayan, pag tinignan nyo, beauty and brains po talaga ito. So sabi ni Migs Nograles, para lang yang pag-ibig, di ba? Kung may mahal kang bagay, mahal natin ang Pilipinas, mahal ang presidente ang Pilipinas. You have to protect what you love, what you own. Yun yung sabi ni Migs Nograles. Ito. Yun nga, dito rin sa isa na to, sinabi niya rin. Ito naman ay balita ng Pilipinas Today. Tapos yung isa, ito naman ay sa post ng Impact Leadership. So, ayan mga kababayan, para lang daw kasing pag-ibig yan, para naman to si Robin Padilla. Para namang hindi po mag-ibig ito si Robin Padilla. Kung tutusin, ang dami niyang naging babae. So parang pag-ibig lang daw yan. Parang nililecturean tuloy ni nililecturean tuloy ni Representative Migs. Etong si Robin Hood Padilla na, yun nga, dami naman naging babae ito. But parang hindi mo maintindihan. Na yung ginagawa ni Presidente Marcos, yung paglabas niya ng mga Executive Order 57 na mali ang inyong pagkakaintindi kasi kala nyo gegerahin, lalaban sa China, which is hindi naman. Kasi kung iintindihin mo yung nilalaman ng executive order, ito po ay pagpapalakas lang ng ating depensa, ng ating maritime security at maritime domain. So sabi niya, parang pag-ibig lang yan, Robin. Diba, ikaw, di ba may mahal ka, may mga bagay kang mahal. Mahal mo ang Pilipinas. Mahal ang Presidente Marcos ang Pilipinas. Kaya ginagawa niya lahat to protect the country because mahal nga niya. You protect what you love, you protect what you own, you protect the country. At si Presidente Marcos, ginagawa niya, sa totoo lang mga kababayan, di ba? Bihira niya sabihin yun, pero pinapakita niya na mahal niya Pilipinas. Katulad ng Executive Order 57. Kasi naabuso na tayo masyado, naglabas na siya ng executive order para naman mapangalagaan naman natin etong ating mga nasasakupan dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Etong isa na to, si Robin Padilla, puro daktak din. Sinasabi niya mahal niya Pilipinas. May sinasabi pa nga siya, ba't hindi natin gantihan, ba't hindi natin bombahin din yung Puro siya ganon. Pero pagdating dito sa executive order na nilabas si Pangulo, natatapangan daw siya. Siguro nga kasi hindi niya lang siguro naiintindihan. Kaya pinaliwanag sa kanya ng isang babaeng mambabatas na ngayon ay lumalabas supalpal itong si Robin Padilla. Nakakahiya ka, Senator Robin, pero pagsabihan ka pa ng isang babaeng mambabatas sa Congress, mas mababang kapulangan. Ikaw nandiyan ka sa Senado. Pero biruin mo, pagsabihan ka, real talk yan guys, real talk. Hindi naman kinakailangan ng talino para mapagsalita ng ganyan Diba? Hindi naman kailangan, abogado ka para mapagsalita ka ng ganyan kinakailangan mo lang yung totoo. Magpakatotoo ka. Magpakatotoo ka. Kasi kung ikaw totoo sa sarili mo, ganun ang gagawin mo. Pero iba kasi si Robin Padilla kasi iba yung sinasabi niya sa ginagawa niya. Kaya ayan mga kababayan, mismo eto si Representative Migs Nograles sinupalpal mga kababayan etong number 1 senator na si Robin Padilla at pinangaralan, Senator Robin, parang pag-ibig lang yan. Dami mo naman maraming beses ka na mag-ibig, marami ka namang minahal. Sana alam mo yan. Na kaya ganun ang ginagawa ni Presidente Marcos, dahil mahal niya Pilipinas. Siguro hindi lang katulad mo. Ikaw kasi, puro ka lang dada. Pero, lumalabas. Mukhang mas mahal mo pa itong China kaysa dito sa sarili mong bansa. Alright, so yun lang mga kababayan. Pahiya na naman. Etong number 1 senator na nako mga kababayan, sabi ko sa inyo matagal-tagal pa nating titiisin to. Sana makapagtiis pa tayo ng ilang taon. At sana po matapos na rin to. Tapusin na natin termino nito. Kung sakali mga matapos sa tumakbuli, alam nyo na kung anong gagawin. Di ba? So, ayun lang, mga kababayan, tutok-tutok lang dito sa Batang Maynila to. Sa iba pang updates, ingat po tayong lahat. God bless po.